Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video of Let's Talk Upper Cervical. I have with me Carol Pridmore, and she is here to talk about her story of what upper cervical has helped her with. She's a patient of Dr. Baker's, and welcome Carol, thank you for being here.
Thank you, it's nice to be here.
Well, if you would, please just describe your past symptoms and talk about how you became a patient of Dr. Baker's.
Okay. I have been having a lot of problem with my lower back and my hip, left hip, for about 3 years. And I love to do gardening and work outside in the yard and things like that. And it got where it was almost impossible to do it for very long periods of time due to the pain. So it got very chronic to where I was in pain 24/7. So I went to a neurologist. My husband had a neurologist, and he's supposed to be the best around, so I went to him. For 2 years, he tried all sorts of medicines and pain pills, anti-inflammatories. I had 2 nerve blocks. None of that helped at all. So after 2 years, it became his prognosis that I go to a pain clinic, and that just did not sit well with me. I'm only 55. And I thought, if I start taking pain pills now like that, where will I be in 10 years? I'll be dead. So my husband was an upper cervical patient because he has Meniere's disease. And he was much more than a patient. He was more of an advocate for upper cervical after he had had so many great changes in his life. Well, it's hard to sell me much. And I was very used to where you go to the medical doctor when you're sick, and that's what I had learned through my life. Well, from the neurologist and my not getting anything that I wanted, no help but pain clinic, that was not an option for me. So I started going to an orthopedic surgeon.
Okay.
And I've been to him for about the last 8 months. Well, he found out that I have degenerative disc disease, and of course chronic arthritis in my back and my left lower leg. I've got a ligament from my hip down to my knee that is torn or damaged in some way. So it's been a pain that is always constant, always there, and in the last few months it's gotten to the point where I was having trouble walking, putting weight on that leg. It just really was a constant pain. It would wake me in the night to the point that something had to be done. So they I did MRIs, they looked at all my x-rays, they found that I do need back surgery. The 4 lower discs in my back are completely messed up, and when he looked at the x-ray, he just said, all this is messed up. And it was about this part of my lower back. So they think that the hip problem is coming from my lower back. So with him, he gave me 2 epidurals. Still nothing has changed. I'm still in pain. Had no hope. They were just going to continue to do that, schedule another epidural, and I just thought, if this is not working, why are we doing this again? Right. Well, my husband had been quite the upper cervical person, and he kept discussing this with me constantly through all my journey with what I was going through, to where he really almost drove me nuts about upper cervical. And I knew it was working for him, I knew he loved it, but I just wasn't conformed to believe that that would be a path for me.
Right, it's hard to believe for a lot of people that it's such a simple plan of care.
Well, it sounds too good to be true to me, and I'm the old doubter. So finally I used to joke with him and say, well, you know, you just are the spokesperson for upper cervical, and everybody doesn't want to hear that. Well, let me tell you, I started coming over a month ago to Dr. Baker. As of last week, I woke up one morning and I realized something wasn't right, and it was that the pain was gone in my left leg, and that is incredible. It took me a couple of hours really before I even mentioned it, because I thought I was crazy, that it had just maybe gone away for a second and that I was just lost my mind. But ever since then, it has been completely disintegrating from my body. My lower back is better. Now, we also lost our only child 11 years ago. He was 20 years old in a car accident. And I've had a great deal of depression and panic attacks and things like that as well. And I feel in my inside that I am more at peace. Mm-hmm. I have more joy. Mm-hmm. And it may sound crazy, but these are the things Upper Cervical has given me. A brighter outlook on my life. I now have hope where I had completely lost hope in there being a solution for my problem. Mm-hmm. And I'm a grandma. I've got a lot of living to do yet.
Right.
And I've got a lot of things I want to accomplish. And I don't want to sit around and be in a wheelchair. I want to be active. So Upper Cervical has given me the ability to do that. And it's just a free gift from God, really, if you realize it.
Right.
Dr. Baker looked at me, first person I've ever been around in my life in a critical medical situation where I'm seeking help. And his very words were to me, "This can be reversed." Now you tell me one medical doctor that has ever given me any advice like that, and I would have been signing up at his door any minute. Mm-hmm. But it's mainly that we have the faith in our Creator God, that He made a perfect body. And if we take care of it and we stay in line and do what we need to do, and take care of our body, it will do everything it needs to do on its own. Because God's not going to make a body that isn't brilliant.
Right.
And Dr. Baker has just brought me to a beautiful place in my life. I feel like I have been set free of a lot of things that bound me before. And I feel like I am getting well every day, more and more and more, in my spirit and my body.
So what would you tell the viewers out there that are watching this that are still, not taking the next step to
quit wasting your money at the medical doctor's office? I mean, I know I'm not I'm not crazy, but I have spent thousands of dollars trying to feel better. And I walked in here and a month later, I'm already light years past where I was after 3 years. So that's proof enough for me. And if they'll just try it, it makes perfect sense. It completely makes sense. It's quite logical, and it is very simple. And I think that's what I couldn't understand, was how can anything this simple really work? But it's perfect, and everything is perfect when our Lord does it. So I think the Lord works through Dr. Baker and his staff. They're awesome. They make you feel good when you walk in the door. And they always care, and you're always given the best of treatment and the sweetest of smiles. And they're just a great group of people wanting to help people.
Well, Carol, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
To all of our viewers out there, thank you for watching this video, and please tune in next time for another video of Let's Talk Upper Cervical.